That would be nice. Thank you very much, Brendan. The County Council report that's gone out today, that's being considered today, makes it very clear that the county plan to object to the entry on the local plan on Manydown. The question begs, how in the world, if we're working in partnership, do we wind up with the county now objecting to our local plan? It's ludicrous. The Economic EPP Cabinet member with portfolio responsibility for Manydown is very clear in his response to Councillor Potter at that meeting that you had no knowledge of the county report prior to it being raised at EPP. In the same meeting, our officer told the EPP committee that they had been aware of the report. So what in the world are we allowing the Cabinet member to walk into the EPP meeting without being briefed on it? Paragraph 4.5 of the county report states that the Director of Culture and Communities and Business Services has written to the CX to express concern over the latest changes to the local plan in respect of Manydown. Question begs, when was that, and what has the Chief Executive done with that information? You also discussed at EPP legal matters that were in closed session, and as a member of P&I, I'd like to see that legal information. Not just simply the pink paper, but the full legal opinion. Very much want to see that. So there are a number of questions that begs who did what, where and when to actually understand the full picture of how we wind up where we are this afternoon. And it also reflects on the fact that what was presented to committee at P&I by officers that was then altered by Councillor Raffel, all wrapped up equals not being acceptable, viable in the opinion of the County Council and in the opinion of others. On that basis, the question begs, did officers know that when they were advising P&I that that's all right to take the Manydown policy forward in the shape and form that it was? If they did, then that's an issue. If they didn't know, then that's also an issue. How in the world do we wind ourselves up in this position of being potentially in contempt of the High Court again? The other point to bear in mind is there are key dates that we should be aware of in the original agreement that puts the time frame on council-led development of Manydown. I'm led to believe that that is the case, and if so, the council could be failing in its legal responsibilities again if we don't meet those time frames. I think there's a lot going on here that we really need to unpack, Chair, principally because we've been through Ernst & Young, we've been through ARCA, and here we go again. We just shouldn't be here.
Thank you.
It's all well and good in terms of the group leaders respect that, but a part of ARGA and part of Ernst & Young was the open engagement of members in this, because all 60 of us vote on the local plan, and it isn't just the purview of group leaders. All 60 of us are responsible for the local plan. This is a local plan matter, and therefore the planning aspect should apply, really, respecting what the Chief Executive has said. I guess the issue is this. We have a position that was created out of consultation with officers' advice at P&I, that Councillor Raffel then altered in the last weekend before we got to full council. That position is completely untenable based upon your report this afternoon and the report the county have taken. The question begs, really, and take into consideration the Chinese wall and the High Court and all that was said, how in the world do we get one set of advice that leads to one conclusion that both of you vote for at full council? To be fair, Councillor Finney was not at that meeting, but both of you were. So you voted for that standing position, and now you're here telling us, oh, I'm sorry guys, but we now need to change it because of. Somewhere along the line, something happened, and we have now found ourselves in this position. That is unacceptable, and it has been, in some respects, dropping the ball in some way. That's what we need to understand from a scrutiny perspective of your actions, really.
Before I invite Councillor